If you had all the money in the world, what would you do? Of course, you're gonna buy a nicer house, move to a nicer neighborhood, buy a nicer car, but that gets you about a month in. Then what? Before I started my YouTube channel and I worked a normal 9-to-5 job, I would have told you that going on mountain bike vacations is what I would do if I had all the money in the world. And to own my own piece of property where I could build my own mountain bike trails. And somehow, through minor miracles, hard work, and luck, I have actually made that happen. I go ride the best trails in the world with my mountain bike. I own a big piece of property that I can build mountain bike trails on, but I don't have all the money in the world. I have absolutely lived the dream over the past 6 years, traveling everywhere, making videos, entertaining people, and actually making it somehow financially work. But the clock is always ticking. So as you may imagine, there's no YouTuber pension program on the books quite yet. You have to spend money to get your channel going, then you make money and you gotta spend more money, and somewhere in there you gotta save money. Not my strongest suit. So instead of socking my money away in a nice and safe S&P 500 ETF, which will just outperform almost anything over the long term, I helped start up a mountain bike component company called Trail One Components. We make stems, handlebars, grips, flat pedals, all kind of amazing components for your mountain bike. That cost me a ton of money to get started, and I think in the long run, in 10, 15 years, it will actually pay dividends. I'm not as involved in the day-to-day operations of Trail One as I was at the beginning. It just became so tough to manage full-time YouTube, half-time Trail One, and then now Everstoke becoming more and more full-time. Some people can just rise to the occasion and keep adding more and more. I'm not that person, but I'm still gonna go out and travel the country this year, do some more Trail One stuff, especially we've raised so much money in the Trail One treasury that we have to give away, so I'd love to go visit all the places and disperse some funds. Okay, I'm heading up the climbing trail, huffing and puffing. I promised everyone on Instagram stories that I would show before and after. Yesterday was nice and sunny and beautiful. Ugh. I came up yesterday to set up the GoPro to try to catch the snowstorm. Hopefully it did a good job. There's a little snow on the lens. I am planning on having many more cameras up here to get time lapses like this. And yes, this is Everstoke, our 91 acres of raw land. We're turning into a mountain biker paradise. This is Soulshine Point. This is the deck I built, one of my greatest accomplishments in my life. Making this place work, making it financially viable, making it comfortable, making it fun, that is the focus of my 2024. Getting Everstoke dialed in is the long-term goal. But my short-term goal every single day is to stay healthy and hydrated, and I do it with the best electrolyte drink mix in the business, Element, the fine sponsor of today's video. Have you noticed how it's so much easier to get dehydrated when it's freezing cold out? You just don't feel it until it's too late. Of course, we should stay ahead of the problem, stay hydrated all throughout the day, but if I feel a dehydration headache coming on, I pop a pack of Element and make sure I drink this whole water bottle, and I come out the other side feeling good. You can always try your drug of choice for pain relief, but when it's a dehydration headache, I feel so much better treating the underlying problem instead of the surface level symptom. The Element thesis is out with sugar and in with salt. They believe that most people, especially healthy people that are active and get out there and sweat a lot, need more salt in their diet, not less, to perform their best. Element is zero sugar, stevia sweetened, fantastic tasting, and extra salty. I have tried them all, and finally, Element is the first electrolyte drink that tastes amazing, keeps me charged up, but doesn't make me jittery, doesn't mess with my stomach, and doesn't have a pound of sugar. And if you're more of a hot drink person, Element's got a brand new chocolate medley box. It's got 10 packs each of chocolate raspberry, chocolate chai, and chocolate mint. If you give it a try, I think you're going to like it, but anything's possible, and Element has a 0 questions asked return policy. You are taking no risk with your first taste. And right now, if you order through my link, drinkelement.com/BKXC, you'll get a free 8-pack sample pack 8 different flavors so you can figure out which one you like the best. I am really big on the citrus salt right now. This deal's only available through my link, so head on over to drinklmnt.com/BKXC. Thank you to Element so much for being a great partner and keeping BKXC on the air. Okay, let's re-rack it here, reset. I got plenty more to talk about with the Everstoke plans for 2024, but the weather got so intense, so crazy, it just kept on snowing, and then it stopped snowing and it got down to 3 degrees, the coldest I'd ever seen it at Everstoke. The toilet broke. It exploded. It's leaking water. So I think I know what happened. We have been doing great due diligence every night when it gets cold. We hook up the air compressor to the water lines and blow all the water out of the outside toilet and the outside sink, and that had been working really, really good. But our septic tank, I had not run the septic pump in quite a long time. I'm always like, oh, I want to run it, but I have to run an extension cord and all this stuff because our power isn't quite hooked up and quite ready yet. So I hadn't run the septic pump for a long time. And I think that maybe the septic water actually rose to a level where it was inside the bottom of the toilet tank a little bit, which is pretty nasty, pretty scary. And that water expanded and exploded and blew everything up. Live and learn, these lessons over and over and over. So let us get back to the main topic here. Everstoke 2024, it's do or die, it's make or break. We've got to get over the hump this year. We have come so far, we've done so much. We started with a blank canvas in 2021, and 2.5 years later, we have got something really, really special that is just almost there. I have got so many cool projects planned for 2024, and I hope I can get into them all and get out of them all and just get them complete and share them with you here on YouTube, and hopefully it gets you fired up to come out and visit. And I think all of this revolves around 3 pillars. Getting Everstoke to work means it has to be fun. Fun is the number one foundational principle. If the mountain bike trails aren't fun, then we've got nothing. And then this place has to be comfortable, being able to use the bathroom, to take a shower, to be able to cook food, to be able to park in a nice little camping spot or use the tiny home. Comfort is definitely a huge part of making Everstoke work. And the third pillar would be financial sustainability. Right now, we're making it work piece by piece. We're not at that level where everything can kind of run, but I think that all trickles down from Everstoke being fun and comfortable. The more fun and comfortable it is, the more people show up, the more people pay to play, and that actually makes this thing work. So let's talk about each pillar now, starting with fun. Everstoke is nothing unless it's fun. And every time new people show up, they get totally surprised and absolutely blown away with how fun it is, which means we're doing a great job as long as people actually get out and go and are willing to try. My buddy Aaron from MTBing Adventures, my partner in this endeavor, has spent the past 2.5 years cutting in 5+ miles of trail, almost single-handedly. He's had some really good help over the years, but he's been out here every single weekend for the past 2.5 years, putting in more than 2,000 hours of work, and it just gets better and better. Every trail he makes gets better and better and better. And really, Aaron's master plan is to get a bunch of trails dug in, running really good, but then go back over every single trail, improve every single turn, put features everywhere there should be features. So getting that first run of all these different trails where they're rideable, they're fun, and then going back, improving every single one, it's just going to be such a good long-term plan where every time you come out, there'll be something new and something even more fun to ride. We were actually just out scouting in the snow for the next phase of the Adventure Perimeter Trail. You may know the East Side Perimeter Trail. Well, eventually that trail is going to extend all the way up north and then come down the west side all the way south and just ring around the property boundary. We've all got plenty of ideas of what we should do. If you've got ideas, leave them in the comments, send me an email, come out and build it yourself. That's always welcome. If you can stay out for a few weeks, come on down. So I think of Aaron as the architect of Stoke, the dirt wizard. I think of myself as the utility guy trying to make everything comfortable, trying to get power, water, septic, all that stuff up and running and working, even though Aaron's done a heck of a job on all that stuff as well. He was the one that got the tiny house going and pulled his hair out actually getting the tiny house parked up on that hill. Aaron also did almost all the work on our septic system, the septic tank, the leach field, the pump, all these different things, the trench. It was so complicated, and he did an amazing job on that. So now it's my job to keep that stuff up and running and to improve on every single facet that might add to the comfort of your stay at Everstoke. Of course, that starts with running water, which we've done pretty good on, even though we've had some freezing and bursting and all that stuff. But I think we've got that kind of sort of figured out. And then the big one that I'm still currently working on is a real deal solar power system. We have got so many good things laid in place already, and I've got a few more pieces on the way to really make this thing work good, work hard, work right all throughout the winter, and then kick major butt in the summer. I have got a full pallet of solar panels on the way, and I am so excited because right now I've been doing the beta test rough draft with just 4 solar panels, and when the sun hits that thing right, it cranks out so much power, way more than we use. So getting 28 solar panels up and running and all optimized, it's really gonna be something. It has been so satisfying to learn so much about power systems, the water system, septic system, all the systems, and just make all these mistakes all along the way and learn along the way. And they're all, it's an expensive lesson, but you're not gonna get this in a book. You're not gonna get this in a classroom. You have to learn by doing. So the next big expensive learning experience to make Everstoke even more comfortable is later in the spring, me and my dad are gonna build some real deal bathrooms. We have started the process. We've got some big old piers dug. We're gonna try to overbuild this thing. It's only gonna be like a 10 by 10 building. It's gonna have 2 doors on the outside. You open one door, you're going into one bathroom. You open the other door, you're going into the other bathroom. But there's so many different bits and pieces. I've been reading different books. I've been watching different videos. I've got an idea, but this is gonna really be the first, building that we've built. And I hope it turns out good. Having 2 full bathrooms with full privacy and full showers and full toilets that won't get blown up by the cold is gonna be pretty nice. So as long as the 100 square foot bathroom building doesn't take us a year to complete, I would love for the next project to be an outdoor kitchen. Having an area to cook your food and clean your dishes that's nice and clean, all in the same area, that is the dream. And also getting Wi-Fi up and running for anyone who wants to stay. I've definitely heard from people that have said, hey, I wanted to come out and stay for like a week, but if you guys don't have Wi-Fi, then I can't really work from home. Even though there's really good cell coverage at Everstoke, but people don't want to be using all the minutes or the data on their phone. Eventually, it would be nice to get a washer and dryer on the premises, but down the road, 2 minutes away in Blairsden, there is a laundromat that just overhauled their entire thing. They've got like 20 brand new machines. I've used it 2 or 3 times now, and I love it. And that's so apropos in the whole topic of making Everstoke comfortable. Where we are situated in Blairsden, Grey Eagle, 1 hour from Truckee, 1 hour from Reno in the Lost Sierra, there are so many great restaurants, things to do, walks to take, hikes to take, drives to take. There's just a smorgasbord. I don't think there's a real smorgasbord, but there's a smorgasbord of options. If you look at Google Maps and you search for Everstoke and you look at everything around it, even in the winter, stuff is still happening, especially in Portola and Quincy. It is really, really a dream location. I could not have picked a better location. I think it's the #1 thing that I have to keep harping on to get people to come out. Because yeah, you could go stay at a decent hotel. There's the Chalet View Lodge. There's Nakoma Resort. There's a bunch of them that you could go stay at. You don't have to stay at Everstoke if you don't want to rough it. But of course, we would much rather have you stay at Everstoke because that's how we're actually going to make this thing financially sustainable. So when I would originally dream about buying a property like Everstoke, or even a house to do an Airbnb, the math in my head was always 200 nights a year at $200, which would land you with $40,000. So of course you can slice and dice those numbers. You could do more nights a year. You could do less nights a year. You could charge more. You could charge less. You could have 50 different places and charge that much. But that $40,000 a year turns out to be $3,300 a month. which is pretty dang good to cover a mortgage. Not much more than that in this day and age, but to cover a mortgage, and then you still have to kind of outlay money to improve and do other things. So we've got Everstoke right now, if we can keep it. Basically, the financial layout of buying land is always funky. The bank doesn't want to give you a loan to buy land because when they repossess it, they can't really do anything with it. When they give you a loan for a house, they always know they can take that house back, sell it, rent it out, do something with it. But with raw land that doesn't have a house on it, it is just a weird dream that banks really don't want to touch. So we made this work by getting in over our heads, by getting creative, and we're dreamers, so we think it's all gonna work out. You may have looked up the Zillow selling price when we first announced this and found out where the property was. We bought the property May 2021 for $485,000. And in Northern California for 92 acres, that's pretty dang good. That's what I keep telling myself, at least. We did a $75,000 down payment, which is about 15%, leaving us with $410,000 on the loan, but obviously there's interest added in on top of that. We have a $370,000 lump sum payment due in May of 2028. Right now, we pay a very nice and easy $2,000 a month, which is pretty much all interest and a little bit of principal. We've got 53 payments to go until the time bomb goes off, which is about $106,000. So basically, we have all this time to figure out what's going to happen next. And all of this is being split in half between me and Aaron, which makes it so much easier to swallow. So my half of that balloon payment is $185,000, which actually seems like an amount of money that I could come up with over the next 5 years. I say with complete certainty. Oh yeah, I forgot to totally mention, this is seller financing, not through a bank. The owner of the land is selling it to us with all these terms, which is a pretty good scheme for a plot of land that they weren't able to sell that was on Zillow for maybe a year or so, because now they're gonna get at least $170,000 out of us, 84 months of payments, $2,000 a month, and that down payment also, so a little bit more than that. And then at the end of it, if we can't pay that balloon payment, they just take the land back, take the money, and have all these improvements on the land. But they might not be able to sell the land just like they did before and had a tough time of it. So all of this to say, we are motivated to get this done. There's a fire burning inside of us. The clock is ticking. And I think by putting out the financial information, it's not only endlessly fascinating and semi-public, normally I wouldn't want to reveal all my finances, but any kind of real estate transaction is public information. And there's always the chance there's somebody watching this video that refinances land loans all the time and it's like no big deal and I'm totally overthinking this thing. And if that's the case, just Google contact BKXC and you'll see my contact form and get in touch. But for everyone else who isn't a loan officer, I want you to come out to Everstoke, go to our website, everstoke.bike, rain, snow, sunshine, whatever. If you want to come out, we will make it happen. Just maybe not everything will be completely up and running during this winter, but soon. And I know there are a lot of you who, for whatever reason, don't think you'll ever make it out to Everstoke, but you still enjoy watching the videos. I've got a lot of ideas how you guys can help us out, but that's gonna take a little bit longer. The easiest one that I found was to put together an Amazon wish list. So if you wanna buy us a roll of toilet paper, yes, it actually is a huge help. You have no idea how much toilet paper we're going through. I am so excited about this year ahead. So many fun things to do at Everstoke. So many good rides to still do. I still am gonna get out there on my bike, do some rides, but really that focus, the full force of my medulla oblongata is gonna be on Everstoke. Thanks for watching, you guys. I'll see you on the trail.